What's going on, everybody? It's your boy D with another episode of DNC Radio. Hope everybody's doing good. It's crazy times out there. Like I say every week it's crazy times, and I hope everybody is doing good. One thing about the pandemic is that I can speak for myself, but you've fallen off of when it comes to motivation. You stop eating good, you stop working out. They closed down the gym, so it's harder to get to a place to work out. So I called up a buddy of mine and I asked him to do the show. And it's going to be a very educational episode because I'm really hoping that we get a lot of answers as far as how to get back in shape and what to eat and how to even get started when you have no idea where to go, which is what I'm doing. So this episode is pretty much for me because I need to get shit started. And I hope everybody else can learn from this too. Eli Sanchez is a personal trainer, life coach. He's done some bodybuilding competitions. He's a good guy and he looks great. So that is a resume to allow him to come onto the show and help us learn about all this stuff. He's been doing it for years and he's been helping a lot of people along the way. So let's bring him in. Elias, what's going on, buddy? How you doing, man?
Hey, what's up, brother? How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. Welcome to the show. Thanks a lot for doing the show, bro. I hope everything's good on your end. And, well, I mean, everything looks good. Every time you post a picture, you look great, bro.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah,
No,
life's going, as we all know, during this pandemic, there's, it's tough times, but, we get through it.
yeah, of course. And you're helping a lot of other people get through it. And that's the cool part. What you do helps a lot of other people. Do you ever stop and realize how much you can impact somebody's life?
Oh yeah, definitely, man. Like I think since the very, very first time that it kind of like dawned on my head, like the little light bulb went off. Like that's how I see my career now as a fitness trainer and whatnot.
Uh,
So,
talk about that light bulb. When was it?
oh, this was some time ago, man. I've been a personal trainer for going on 10 years already, almost hitting that decade mark, and I want to say it hit probably within the first 2 years, definitely. I know just one day I was at the gym training a client, and she actually started crying, telling me how much of a positive influence I was, how much I helped her change, and this dead ass right in the middle of the gym just started bawling and you know expressing her gratitude towards me, and so I think that's when it really really sunk in that you know um it kind of just hit me. So
So yeah, a lot of people do personal training. A lot of people are at the gym. It's really a huge thing. Fitness is a really huge thing now. What do you think sets you apart when it comes to selling your services to a client?
um I think one of the major thing that sets me apart is that um going back to that light bulb thing, uh the fact that it hit me so hard, it just made me realize that, hey, you know what, I have something here that I can help people. I can help change their lives for the better, not for the worse. And I think the thing that separates me from everybody else is that a lot of personal trainers, they're super super young. They're either fresh out of high school, in college. They're doing this job to you know pay for bills, not to go ahead and make a career out of it. They're not in it for the long haul. They're not in it for their clients' sake. They like it's just a job. It's like a 9 to 5 to them kind of deal. And especially with me, I developed a really really strong passion for bodybuilding now. So competing plays a lot of mindset is a very very big factor in that. And so I feel like it kind of transitions well with the business aspect of being a personal trainer, having my own business, having my clients and whatnot. And then it transitions over to having an even stronger mindset for bodybuilding and going months and months of clean eating, not having any, like barely having any cheat meals, and constantly training day in day out, no rest days, 7 days a week kind of deal.
Yeah, let's talk about that clean eating. How was the transition for you when you decided that you were going to start doing this healthy living lifestyle? What were you eating before, and was it a difficult transition for you?
I honestly, man, I don't have like a really big. To me personally, my story is just like I don't think it's anything special. Like I decided one day, you know what, like I'm gonna start eating clean because like I know I understand that it's healthy for me, it's beneficial for my body, even though like yeah, if you put two large pizzas in front of me, I will you will not see that. You won't see it in a few hours. I guarantee you that. I love pizza. I love burgers. I love barbecue. Like I can eat, but there's a mindset and a phrase in bodybuilding is any true bodybuilder can agree with me that you eat for functionality. You don't eat for taste. And I feel like a lot of people just eat for taste. Like that's why we see people going out left and right. Like they eat pizza, they eat burgers. Everything that I mentioned. And for me, it was just more of a I understood that the quality of food that I put into myself, that I consumed, was going to reflect in my muscle mass. It was going to reflect in my physique, my fat retention, all that stuff that plays in a really big part for bodybuilding. So,
Um,
and I want to say maybe like here and there, like don't get me wrong, I love pizza, like I said. So I'll go a few days, like not eating the way I'm supposed to, but for the most part, like I just stress this a lot to a lot of my clients. Don't go cold turkey because one, you're and in the long run, you're just gonna wind up regretting it. You're gonna have this like hostility towards like clean eating and whatnot. I stress to my clients, take, instead of eating three bad meals a day, eat only two, and then so on and so forth. As the months progress, take out another bad meal, take and replace it with a healthy meal. That one bad meal isn't going to make it, um, a bad diet or anything. Just like one healthy meal won't make it a good diet.
damn, I didn't even think of it that way. You see, like last week, I decided just to stop drinking soda because I grew up on soda, and I think
Mm-hmm.
water's boring. Like my girlfriend is always yelling at me to drink water. I'm like, it tastes like nothing. I'm not gonna drink it. It doesn't. There's water in soda. I'm fine with the soda, but I decided to just stop drinking soda because I'm not a spring chicken anymore. I mean, despite the handsome face, I'm getting old. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, I'm pretty envious of that beard right there, bro.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, that I'm trying to grab, grow a little bit of beard
It's a,
myself.
it's a good it's a good segue to my sponsors, CanYouHandlebar.com. Use my promo code DNC Digital at checkout for 15% off. You got beard wax, you got mustache wax, and beard balm and beard brushes. Back to the task at hand, though. So I decided to like stop drinking soda. I'm doing okay with the water. I'm at least not drinking any carbonated drinks. So I'm cheating with like my Minute Maid fruit punch and my Hawaiian punch. And I'm a fruit punch head like that. That is my shit. Fruit punch is my. You want me to love you forever? You get me some Snickers, some gummies, and some fruit punch. I am all good. But so yeah, I do want to talk about that transition because it is hard. I even stopped eating ramen noodles, which is like 98% of my diet, and it's kind of hard because those things are quick, they're easy, and they're good. But yeah, this stuff affects you, and I'm feeling a lot better. I want to say I lost 17 ounces, which is good. No, I'm kidding. But I do feel a lot better. The belly went down. There's not a lot of bloating. I don't look um like I don't care anymore. But no, dude, I'm so stubborn when it comes to all this stuff. But I do like working out. It's just the getting up part. So can you talk about that motivation and how somebody can find the motivation to work out because it is for you, but it's a lot easier to just sit there, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you know you said it right there. Sitting down, lying down, staying on the couch, staying in bed, coming straight home from work, and putting off the gym for the following day is a lot easier. But I guarantee you, in the long run, when those days start accumulating, you're going to look back at it and you're going to be like, you know what? Maybe I should have gone to the gym. Maybe I should have like started back then. And then like that's where we find ourselves. That's where I find a lot of my clients, a lot of my friends in this cycle where it's like, you know, they tell themselves this where they're like, man, I should have started last week, or I should have started last month or last year or whatever have you. And then they kind of get into this down mood and whatnot. And they're just like, you know what? I'll definitely start next week. It's already Tuesday. I missed Monday. I'm going to start next Monday for sure. And honestly, man, the best motivation that you can give yourself is just doing it, getting up and doing it. I know a lot of people don't really like doing a lot of things that they have to do. You know, nobody likes paying bills, but we have to. We got to keep the lights on. We got to keep the water running. You know, we got to keep a roof over our heads. Nobody likes paying bills, but we got to do it. It's the same thing with the gym. You know, of course you want to have relatively low body fat. You want to look good. You want to look good without clothes. I mean, why not? You got to do it. That's it. Plain and simple.
Yeah, I remember scrolling through my phone, or I was like looking at YouTube on TV or something. I caught a video on CT Fletcher. And
Oh, yeah.
CT Fletcher, if nobody knows who CT Fletcher is, you need to look him up. He is one of the scariest human beings on this earth, but he is so motivated, and he is a very motivating person. The guy went through, was it a heart transplant or a heart surgery that he went
Yeah,
through?
definitely. That guy's been through so many surgeries and so many. He's gone through open heart surgery.
That's what it was, open heart surgery. And the guy's like, you know, he's like in his 60s or late 50s at least. And the guy
Yeah,
looks amazing.
yeah.
And
I want to say he's in his 60s, but yeah,
and
definitely for
so
a 60-year-old, that guy looks amazing.
he was training somebody, and the way he yells at people, I just remember him saying, "Talking shit on your couch, get your ass up." I literally got up because I was scared of this guy. I'm like, okay, just stop yelling. Just stop yelling. I'm up. All right, I'm up. And now that I was up, I'm like, okay, I might as well just start this and get it going. Hey, when you talk about your bodybuilding career, was it difficult to maintain your concentration and focus on that while still having clients?
Oh yeah, definitely, man, definitely. Every prep is it's excruciating. Like to get to a healthy state, like what I am right now, which is it's not that bad. Anywhere between I would say 6 to 10% body fat is healthy. You know, it's sustainable. Your body won't go into any type of shock or anything. And then making the drastic change to dropping down to 1, 2%, even 0% body fat. You know, you're dehydrated for about a week. You're not eating. You're doing a lot of carbs. So you're doing a lot of cardio. My bad. And you're out here exercising. It's definitely strenuous, especially mentally, to go ahead and go through these months, like anywhere between 3 to 4 to 6 month long preps, and still, you know, be on top of my clients, be on top of my business, you know, still go to work, do all these other things. So yeah, I would definitely say that it's extremely hard. It's sometimes all I want to do is sleep. So
Well, you have to get up, right? You have to get up to keep the lights on.
yeah, definitely, man, definitely. And then
Um,
plus, it's always nice to come home with a gold medal around your neck too.
oh, the hell yeah. Fuck yeah. Hey, so can you give us an example of that? Take me through a day of, you know, while when you're training for bodybuilding competitions. What happens when you get up? What time do you get up? What do you eat? What are you working out? What do you do?
So I'll go ahead and take you more or less along the lines of what a typical day would look like when I'm about a month out, so 4 weeks out from a show. This is my mindset's already on, like, it's pretty much an unbreakable will. I'm gonna go to the gym. I'm gonna get in all my meals. I'm gonna do my cardio, and I'm pretty much on top of everything. So I usually wake up at about 4. I get to the gym about opening time, which is anywhere between 5:30. I get in my cardio, maybe get in a slight workout. Depending if it's chest day, I might warm up my chest. For the actual workout, that's sometime in the evening. Um, Usually I'll be about anywhere between 250 to 300 grams of carbs that day. I mean, that during that time, uh, usually about 210 grams of protein, and I'm already sitting at about a relatively low ratio of about 60 to 70 grams of fat. So that's typically healthy. That's what you would see for a men's physique athlete during that time. Um, but yeah, man, I usually get up like at about 4, at slamming anywhere between a gallon and a half to 2 gallons of water. Uh, Doing 45 minutes of cardio at minimum. I think the most it'll probably ramp up at about an hour and 15 minutes of cardio on a stairmaster, and then doing my 2 3 hour workout later on during the day after I've had some meals in me. But yeah, man, that's typically what it looks like.
Is that fun?
Uh, I personally find it really hella fun, just because I enjoy scrolling back through my phone months and
Hmm.
months before starting prep, and I'm like, man, like I look like 4 times better right now than I did then, and it kind of gives me this sense of confidence, and that's where I've ultimately built my confidence on. Like you see these drastic changes. My clients see these drastic changes within themselves, so they build up their confidence, and ultimately, it makes me feel good knowing that I'm giving my 110% every time, whether it be my meals, my water, my cardio, because I mean, sometimes that cardio is definitely draining. I feel death is like literally right there. So,
When you talk about scrolling to past pictures and seeing all the transformation that you've done, I want to talk about mental health when it comes to working out and fitness and stuff. How important is that for somebody to see the change? And maybe people are having issues with themselves, like how people have body dysmorphia and they don't see the actual beauty or they don't see the hard work. Where do you step in when it comes to that? When you have somebody very, very down on themselves?
it's honestly, I feel you have to be, in order to be a bodybuilder, you have to have extremely very very good mental health. I know a lot. Sometimes like bodybuilders deal with depression, anxiety. Like we're people. We weren't cooked up in a lab or anything like that, so we're not perfect. You know, but I believe it's extremely important for people to have good mental health. Exercise does improve mental health. Take for instance, whenever you go on a 3 month, which is 12-week program, you stuck through the entire thing. I guarantee you're gonna feel better about yourself, because when you look back at that day one starting picture to that last day, that day 90 picture, there's an ultimate there. I mean, there's a significant change. So one, that ultimately brings your confidence up. That makes you realize, hey, you know what? I stuck through something. I do have what it takes to commit to something that's ultimately a long run goal. That's going to go ahead and reinforce a lot of positivity in one's self-esteem, one's self-confidence, and ultimately, I overall, I really think that mental health is very important.
One thing I did want to ask you, when it comes to, geez, I'm kind of messing up here. When it comes to sneakers, I've learned that you're a big sneakerhead.
Yeah, if you pay close attention to a lot of my posts, you'll find out that I'm a sneakerhead.
Yeah, how many pairs of sneakers do you have, sir?
I don't know, man. To be honest, let's see. Right now, I can see like 4 pairs. So,
Oh, really? Okay.
uh, yeah, that's just what I have out. Like,
And which
I don't have.
brand do you like to stick to?
Uh, I I'm not biased, but I do really really like Nike. I
Hmm.
grew up on Nike. I grew up wearing a lot of Jordans, a lot of Nike Air. So I kind of stuck to that. But yeah, I mean, I do have my training shoes. So training shoes, obviously, like I try to get with something that's flat footed for just an all around overall good shoe for training. So I usually get no bulls. I have a pair of those, and right now I'm running some Nike Metcon threes. So
Yeah. How important are those sneakers when it comes to working out? You can't just
uh,
pick any that look pretty. I mean, some of them need like some type of functional advantage for what you're doing, right?
oh yeah, definitely. I would say like just because I mean I know a lot of guys that whenever I step into the gym, I'm probably one of like five guys that are wearing functional footwear, whereas everybody else is wearing their favorite sneakers kind of deal. But I feel like footwear does play a very very large role in it because especially for leg day, you need that stable ankle just in case, you don't want to be too limber, you don't want to have any immobility. So that way you're, like you don't mess up, you don't injure yourself, squatting or deadlifting or anything like that. I know a lot of power lifters will go ahead and agree with me when I say that having a flat foot or a flat, deadlifting or squatting with no shoes or flat shoes will go ahead and be extremely beneficial, just to pushing out those lifts.
When you talk about training people, and I still think personal trainers deserve a lot of credit because just like you say, some people, I'm sure they do it for the money, but I'm sure there are a lot of people that really mean well and they see the kind of change that they're doing in somebody's life. Can you look back? I mean, maybe not that first person, but maybe you had somebody who you kind of had the most emotional connection with as far as like really seeing them finish their goal when you so many times they probably told you I can't do it, and you finally see them finish and cross that finish line. Can you talk about the the reward that you get from seeing somebody that you helped achieve their goal?
Um, yeah, I actually can think of this was a recent client of mine. She's no longer a client, and she was actually prepping for a bikini show. She was going to do bikini bodybuilding, and this was, I believe, 2 years ago, a year ago, if I'm not mistaken. And the thing that I get out of it the most is knowing that I obviously impacted somebody's life for the better, like for the better. You know, even if it's just that they reached their goal weight, they lost 15 pounds overall, or they won first place at a national show. To me, the immediate thing is seeing their smile from all their hard work, realizing their transformation, you know, and then all their emotions sinking in, and ultimately, like I've said, like having clients sometimes full on cry right in front of me in the middle of the gym. So I think the thing that I get from it the most is that knowing that I positively impacted their life to the point where they definitely show it.
Um, One thing I did want to ask is a common misconception about people who go to the gym. A lot of times they're called meatheads or they're called cocky or arrogant or self-centered. There's so many words, narcissistic. Um, why do you think there's a stigma or that label that's put on people that constantly go to the gym every day?
Uh, Honestly, I think it's that fine line that separates arrogance and confidence. So where take for instance, like I'll use myself as an example. I've been called that plenty of times. I've been in the gym since I was 16, and I think maybe I've been called that maybe at least once a week, if not like that I can recall at least a minimum of 3 times a week. So I think this misconception is that it's like the anatomy of an iceberg. You know, when you're sailing on a ship, all you see is what's above the water, which happens to be maybe about 15%, maybe 20% of the iceberg. You don't see the rest of it that's underneath, sitting in cold water. You know, so take for instance the Titanic. That's how it sunk. They saw a little bit, but they didn't realize how big it was. And for me, every time that I get called, you know, cocky, or you know, like that somebody confuses my confidence in what I'm doing or going to the gym, simply just being at the gym. When they confuse that with confidence, or like they confuse my confidence with cockiness, you know, I feel like the misconception is the fact that they only see what's currently presented in front of them at that moment. They haven't seen the plenty of years that I've been in the gym, putting in this hard work, the countless of healthy meals or meal preps that I've eaten, the countless and countless of hours getting up at 4, maybe staying until closing at the gym to do my cardio, the hours and hours on the Stairmaster, the weights lifted, the 2-3 hour workout sessions 6 to 7 times a week. You know, they don't take into account all that's gone, or all that's being made to get to that point. So I feel like those that get, and I'm pretty sure those people that get called cocky and whatnot, they'll go ahead and agree with me. It's that, you know, they see it from their self, like they see it from their own perspective, to where, you know, it's like, I mean, why shouldn't I be confident? Why shouldn't you, what do you call it? Why shouldn't you, sorry, I lost my train of thought.
No worries. But I do understand what you're saying, because sometimes I feel like it could be warranted, because you look at somebody's Instagram or their Facebook and it's constant pictures of themselves, you know, and at an immediate response, I think human nature is just like, oh, look at this guy. Okay, he has an 8-pack, so what? But there's also the other line, and yeah, man, that iceberg metaphor is good. I've never heard that before. I like that. I gotta use that whenever my girlfriend is saying that I'm wrong about something. This is just the surface. You don't see inside. I'm an onion. I have layers.
Exactly, layers. Donkey,
Layers.
Shrek, man, Shrek.
Donkey. Oh, Shrek. Yes,
Shrek and
Donkey. So we're gonna get into how we can help people in just a little bit. One thing I did want to know though, what's the most surprising thing that somebody can learn about fitness competitions that maybe they didn't know went down? Is there pizza stashed away? Are there donuts that people like after they do their?
Definitely, yeah. I remember my very first competition. So I'll go ahead and speak from that perspective, because that's when I was first introduced to this whole world. Everything that goes into it, like a lot of things that you don't really see. So first off, I'm gonna tell you, when you're getting spray tanned, you're butt ass naked, standing to another dude who's butt ass naked too, getting spray tanned, complete head to toe. So
you guys make eye contact, or?
I tried not to. Kind of had to look up, you know, look away and whatnot. But yeah, so that's one thing, you know, that's to be mentally prepared for whenever you're, what do you call it, thinking about coming into this community. And the reason why I call it a community is because even though, like, I know, like, there's this notion about whenever you look at the greats like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Lou Ferrigno, you see a lot of the I'm sorry, was I breaking up? I got a call.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good.
Okay. So, yeah, whenever you look at the grades, you see a lot of the animosity that they have on stage. And it's actually the complete opposite, man. Like, they're probably the best of friends. I know this recent competition where I won first place at the Battle of Texas in Arlington. A lot of the guys backstage, like they were full on like animosity and whatnot. And, like they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna take you out. You did that class, like you won that one, but over here in this class, this is another monster. Like you're gonna have to deal with us and this and that." And I honestly, somewhat kind of felt a little bit intimidated, but at the end of it, like everybody's just full on best friends pretty much. But that animosity is there, I feel like, just because everybody's chasing that same goal. Another thing, yeah, definitely those donuts are a thing.
Oh, they are. I was just joking. Like, I'm
No,
pretty sure after you guys like pose and do your Hulk Hogan shit, you probably like about to devour like a plate of pork fried rice or something back there.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, everybody was having their cheat meals already.
Oh, yeah. By the way, while we're on this subject, what was the most satisfying meal you've ever had after a competition of working hard for 6 months?
Oh man, honestly, it was a burger. I know it's super, super like what a burger. Like I've had that just yesterday, kind of deal. Honestly, it was this burger that had eaten. Super, super juiciest burger ever. I don't know if it was just me, but that was the best meal.
I think it was mixed with all the drool that was coming out your mouth.
Oh, that's probably what it was, man. That's what it was.
Hey,
But
so what is the biggest mistake someone can make when they decide I'm going to start eating healthy, I'm going to start working out?
the biggest mistake I would
Something they
say.
can avoid from doing,
I'm sorry.
Something they can avoid from doing if they decide that I'm going to start doing this fitness stuff.
I know there's this really, really big. I personally feel like it's a really big mistake, is to go ahead and hire the wrong coach. So what I mean by that is I've known plenty of other personal trainers that hire a coach because they want to they don't necessarily look the part, or they want to go into bodybuilding or whatever. They hire a coach that's completely like does not talk to them, gives them like something that they could have come up on their own. And I mean, being, of common sense, you can distinguish what's a healthy meal from an unhealthy meal.
Sure.
So, that I feel like that would be a really, really huge mistake, just because I know whenever you're first coming into this, like you want to go ahead and, you put your foot down on yourself and you're like, you know what, I'm going to do this. I'm going to start eating healthy and whatnot. But where do I start? And that's when a lot of people start turning to personal trainers and life coaches and stuff like that. So my best advice that I can give is, even if you don't hire me, hire somebody that you completely and 110% agree with, as far as, whatever they preach, whether it's, doing a whole 11-day cycle carb deficit split where you're doing carb cycling, or you're doing keto, or whatever it is that you think is the best route for yourself, or what you believe the most. Go with that person.
How about people who get impatient when they talk about like these diet pills that are on these infomercials like at 2:30 in the morning? Yeah, people lose the weight, but not to be mean, but the look isn't there. Stuff isn't tight. It's not as healthy. You're still eating your crap, but you're taking these diet pills. How unhealthy can those be? Are those dangerous for somebody's health?
Yeah, definitely. A lot of them aren't regulated by the FDA. I know, like, that's okay. Somebody might say, oh, okay, well, what, Eli? Like, a lot of supplements aren't regulated by the FDA. Well, that's true too. But supplements, if you look at the term supplement, it's to supplement something. So it supplements your diet. It shouldn't be something that you take religiously. It's just there to aid you. So, what do you call it? Sorry, I lost my train of thought again.
No, it's these diet pills that they take a place, or
Oh yeah.
it's like an appetite burner or something like. I see people doing that, and they get very confident, and I'm glad that they feel good about themselves. But it's the overall health that we want to teach, right?
Yeah, definitely. Overall, like longevity and overall health is what I preach the most. Even though like whether you for whatever goal you're coming to me with, longevity and overall health is what I ultimately preach. So whenever you do look at these people that like they come on those 2-3 o'clock a.m. Infomercials saying, oh, if you take this fat loss pill, you'll lose like 85 pounds in 3 months. And a lot of people don't realize that, yeah, like they lost 85 pounds, but, not only did they lose fat, but they probably lost a lot of muscle. And not necessarily saying that losing muscle is a bad thing. Sometimes, you have to go ahead and recomposition your body in order to go ahead and get everything tight and whatnot. But yeah, man, definitely those. I'm personally like I would say you wouldn't want to go ahead and try one of those just because I know a lot of people, gym goers and whatnot, that they had all these pills or whatever, and their quality of life isn't there. I guarantee you, if you put in that little time each and every day, your quality of life will be a lot better than that. A hell of a lot better, actually.
For the record, you're definitely a motivating speaker, because you're making me like I'm gonna eat a burger later, and I kind of feel bad. I'm gonna make a homemade burger, and I'm like, oh man, he wouldn't be proud. But so let's talk about the pandemic. It hit out of nowhere. It closed gyms down. So not only did it stop people like yourself from maintaining, this figure that you work so hard for, but it also stopped people who just went to the gyms just to stay healthy, just to lose 5 pounds. I want to lose 5 pounds. I want to stay at this weight. I want to keep the thighs tight. I want to, make sure my butt looks good. And then, it kind of messes with your motivation, because not only did the gym stuff mess you up, but this whole shit, like, shut the whole world down. People are getting sick. Your kids aren't going to school, and like there's all this added pressure, and it mentally messes with you, and it kind of takes away some desire to get up and do 50 push-ups here in your living room. So one question I did want to ask, is it true that everybody, like every actual body, different body, different diet, is that true?
To a certain extent.
Because with that, how do you approach somebody when it comes to, I want to do a diet, and how can somebody get started now?
So the whole different body, different diet works to an extent. Like I've always preached, do what works best for you. But if you need a good general direction in where to start or which direction to go ahead and start in, is, even if it's just simply eating better. And then later on, figuring out, oh, well, hey, you know what? The difference between 100 milligrams of salt is what makes me look my best to looking like I'm holding a lot of water for bodybuilding, or maybe a few grams of carbs or a few grams of protein make you bloated, as opposed to if you hadn't eaten those. So it's there's a very, very gray area, but I would overall, in my opinion, say that I would agree with different body, different diet, just because.
So I'm sorry to cut you off. So like, you got to break it down for us that don't understand. Like, how do you measure the gram of salt? How do you measure the gram? Because I go to H-E-B, and I pick up 2 steaks to make for dinner this week. Like, how do I know how to portion that? I grab rice to cook with the steak. Maybe I'll grab some broccoli if she's kind of, messing with me enough that we have to eat healthy. So I'll grab the broccoli. We'll make some broccoli. But how do I know how to portion this stuff? Because that doesn't sound like a bad meal. Or, when I'm making spaghetti, how much ground beef do I put? How many noodles do I boil? How much do I put on my plate? That's what I feel some people who don't know how to measure all that stuff need help with.
Okay. Yeah. Well, to make things a lot, they do have food scales, and it makes it super, super easy to go ahead, measure out what it is that you exactly need or should be eating. Now, finding that specific number, that's where it's going to go ahead and come down to, if you know what you're doing, or if your coach knows what he or she's doing. Mm-hmm. So, obviously you don't want to go ahead and have somebody who's going to put you on an extremely like low calorie deficit or something or a high calorie deficit, I should say. And when you're just first starting out. So you can find these food scales at your local supermarket, in the, I guess the, what do you call it? The kitchenware aisle. Super, super easy. A lot of them are really, really, like their scales. They're not too hard. They're not too complicated to go ahead and, sorry about that.
It's all good. It's all good.
So yeah.
He doesn't like, that dog doesn't like portioning.
I'm sorry, what?
No, I said that dog doesn't like any portion control. That dog just wants to.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, no, they don't like whatsoever. They'll have their entire bag of dog food if they could.
Nice.
But those food food scales, they work really, really, really well. Super, super easy to use. They're not complicated at all. But the complicated part does come in when finding that right number. Mm-hmm. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, great. I have to count macros and this and that. I have to count my micros. I have to drink a gallon of water and whatnot. And it's just getting into that habit of doing it. So it's like getting in the habit of waking up every day to go to work. It's just something that, you have to do. Mm-hmm. It would make this is the part where you have to make your mindset transition over to, this is what I want. You have to go ahead and foresee the ultimate goal, the end goal, the much larger picture, as opposed to the immediate reward right then and there.
So, what are some exercises that some people can just start doing now if they want to start, losing a little bit of weight, or maybe even, starting to build muscle?
Running, some at-home workouts that people can do. Going outside, jogging, running. I would say running is a lot more beneficial than walking, just because, it gets the blood flowing as opposed to a little bit more as opposed to walking. It's a little bit more impactful on your muscles as opposed to walking. You can come home, stay outside, do some jumping jacks, do some jump squats, do some burpees. Burpees are really, really good. Even though everybody and their mom and their pet bird hates them, I guarantee you burpees will definitely they'll definitely set you down the road of getting results. I put my clients through burpees on a daily basis, and they absolutely hate me.
You are mean, bro. You are mean.
Yeah. I've heard it. I've heard it a few times already. So, but towards the end of the workout, like they tell me they usually have a love-hate relationship with me. So, I'll take it.
Yeah, I remember going back home. I went back home and I visited my buddy, old high school buddy of mine. His name is Reef, and he's a CrossFit athlete. And he's like number 7 in the state of New Jersey and everything. So I was like, you know what? He's busy training people. So my way of keeping in touch with him is to go and work out with him. I don't know why I thought that. I don't know why I thought that was a regular, coherent thought in my head. Because I was like, bro, I'm going to go over, we're going to work out. He goes, all right. Yo, this guy had me. And you know what? This is where it comes in. This is where it comes in where you help people realize what they can do. Because he's like, he just looks at me. He goes, do 50 push-ups. I'm like, nope, no, that's not gonna, I'm not a guy who does 50 push-ups. And so, I got down there and I finally did the 50 push-ups. He goes, okay, do 50 sit-ups. I'm like, fuck no, that's not gonna, I hate core. And that's why it's hard for me to get this belly away. So I finally got through the 50 sit-ups. And then he tells me to do 50 jumping jacks. And then after all of that, he goes, do 40 each. I was like, oh, God. Then he goes, do 30 each, then do 20, then do 10. Finally, I got through all of that. And he goes, you want to count? I was like, what do you mean? He goes, count how many you did. And I was like, wow. In 22 minutes, I think he timed me. I did 150 push-ups, 150 sit-ups, and 150 jumping jacks. And I was like, he goes, bro, people spend hours in the gym. You did that in 20 minutes, you know? I was like, man, that really helped me realize what a human body can do, even with somebody as stubborn as me that I don't like to do a thing, you know? Mm-hmm. And he had me do deadlifts and everything, and it was fun. But I hated that guy because he was so positive, and he was like, come on, we're having fun. I'm like, no, we're not. You're the one having fun. I do this every day, like 8 times a day. I don't do this stuff. So for the people listening, so it's the running, the jogging, jumping jacks, burpees, try to get themselves through burpees. And because people can get impatient, like myself, in how much time can they start seeing results so that they do start getting motivated? Because after a workout, you just realize how strenuous that was. And you're just like, man, you know, and then the next day you're sore. Where do they find the motivation to go through that soreness again, to go through that strenuous workout?
I would give the advice as don't see the soreness as a bad thing. You know, soreness is you building muscle. I mean, obviously there's the scientific explanation of why you're sore, but you know, the soreness is accompanied by you building muscle, you know, you sweating, you burning fat. So it's all these other things. And I would say, I wouldn't suggest, I would say that should be seen as something that's positive. You know, like for instance, me, like, I mean, I'm pretty sure that you absolutely hate being sore.
Yes. That's right. That is correct. That's correct.
Yeah. Versus, you know, like me, I love being sore. Like I love, especially the one thing that gets me is I love being sore from my legs. I love not being able to stand up after I'm sitting down for like.
You're a strange man. You're a very strange man.
Yeah. But I mean, it also it in the back of my mind. I know it's reinforcing. I'm telling myself this is a good thing. That means we're back on track. We're gonna get healthy. We're gonna go ahead and start building muscle. And in a month, you know, even before the week, if I continue to do this for the rest of the week, I won't be sore. It's gonna be a lot harder for me to get sore. So that means I'm building muscle. I'm building muscular endurance, which is how well my body uses its muscles, its oxygen, and all this other stuff. And this improves my heart, which is a really, really big thing that I'm on because I know a lot of families a lot of friends, their families suffer from, you know, chronic heart disease and whatnot, or it's, you know, hereditary and whatnot. So I'm really, really big on, you know, heart health.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, because I have a bad heart. I love too much. That's what I do.
Yeah,
that was terrible.
Same here.
That was terrible.
I'll love you to death, and I'll put you through about 150 rounds or 150 reps of burpees.
That doesn't sound fun, but you know what? I believe we are going to collaborate. We're going to do a workout on video, and we're going to put it up on YouTube.
Man.
When all this is done, I'm going to see how much I hate you after that. So, is it Elias? Is it Eli? Which one do you prefer? Is it Elias? Is it Eli? Which one do you prefer?
Yeah, just because a lot of people can't really pronounce my my name.
Oh,
I
wow.
prefer Eli. My
Okay.
name is
All right.
Elias, but I prefer Eli.
No problem.
Yes,
So
sir.
where can they find you if they wanna use your services? Where can they find you to support you? And if you got any sponsors, you can shout them out.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so y'all can find me on Instagram at Eli Sanchez dot underscore. That's all lowercase. You can look me up on Facebook. Just search Elias Sanchez. You can also look up my Facebook page, ES Fitness. Uh, and then you can also follow me on YouTube. Just look up my name, Elias Sanchez. Pretty much straightforward. I do have sponsors. If you guys go ahead and use the promo code Sanchez Star, all uppercase, you guys will save 10% off on all your EHP Labs products and supplements. Super great gear. I love their pre-workout, especially their fat burner, OxyShred Hardcore. That's my go-to fat burner. I've been using it since November 2019, and it's definitely been a staple of my supplement line. Also, their protein's really good. It's super tasty. They also make less protein, so that's really cool.
Awesome. Bro, I want to thank you for coming on the show and teaching me and teaching other people how to get started. I feel like that's the worst part. Like how to get started. Not the worst part, but probably the most difficult part. And
Definitely.
how people can stay healthy during this pandemic, during this shutdown, during the quarantine. Some people can't leave home, or if they find themselves that they have to quarantine for 14 days, how do they stay in shape just being in that room? And I appreciate you coming on and teaching us all this stuff. And I wish you the best of luck. You know what? You help people achieve their goals. What's your goal?
Actually, my goal would have been somewhat accomplished this year if it hadn't been for the pandemic. My immediate goal when it comes to mind, when that whole thing comes to mind, is I would like to earn my IFBB Pro card in bodybuilding. So, God willing, and of course, if everything goes according to plan next year, sometime during the summer, I'll hopefully have earned it.
Awesome, bro. I wish you the best of luck. I do want to keep you here for just a second. I'm going to ask you 5 questions, and
Okay.
these are random ass questions. We're going to find out what kind of person you are, all right? So,
All right.
would you rather be trapped in Jumanji or would you rather be trapped in Jurassic Park?
Oh, that's a tough one, man. I really, I watched Jumanji a lot growing up, but I've extremely and always have been fascinated by dinosaurs. Even right now, just going to my Explorer feed on Instagram, you'll see some dinosaur stuff. So I'm gonna have to go with uh, Jurassic Park.
Okay. What are you too hard on yourself about?
Ah, that I personally feel that I can always go an extra mile. I can always go more. I can always continue to work harder, be the hardest worker in the room, even like run on pure fumes if need be. Like when there's nothing left in the tank, I feel like I can always go more. That's why that's what I feel like I'm the most hard on myself about.
What's the longest you've ever waited in line for something and what was
Oh, this IFBB Pro card, I'm still waiting.
it? You're still waiting.
Yeah, but
Okay. Would you rather explore a new planet or the depths of the ocean?
new planet, hands down. I'm actually super stoked that Elon Musk and SpaceX are their main focus is getting people to Mars.
Are you going to buy a ticket?
Oh man, I would hope so. I would love to go visit Mars.
Okay. Oh, here it is. This is the last one. If you were designing your own fragrance to represent you, what would you call it?
Ooh, ah, that's a tough one right there. I can't really. Ah, ooh, man, that's gonna be a tough one.
I love
How
this
would
fucking book. I always ask people from this damn book. I always ask people from this book. This book is awesome. Well, we'll have to work
the
on that one. We're
fragrance?
gonna have to work on the cologne coming out from Eli Sanchez.
Oh yeah, I might as well make an additional income stream off of that.
Definitely. Eli, bro, thank you so much for doing the show. I really, really appreciate you. This was a lot of fun. I've learned stuff that I'm going to take on and take with me um, after I eat this burger. Um, and then I intend on getting together with you to have a workout and see what kind of teacher you can be and see if you can help me because I'm not the healthiest of guys. You know, pandemic plus me enjoying food is not a good thing. So we'll see if I can shred it. I'm going to trim the fat is what I want to do. I just want to tone up, trim the fat. I just want to lose like 10, 15 pounds, and I hope you can get me there.
Definitely.
So
I
that's
would love to
Eli
help you get there.
Sanchez. Oh, yeah, definitely, bro. That's Eli Sanchez. Eli Sanchez on YouTube. Eli Sanchez was a period underscore, right?
Yeah, it's period underscore.
Got it. Make sure you guys follow this guy. He's a good-looking guy, and he has worked very hard to get this awesome figure that he's gotten. He's a physical specimen, and it's awesome. He's worked really, really hard to get there, and I just want him to have all the support he can. See if you need anything. If you guys need anything health-wise, if you guys have any questions, or you want to hire him as your personal trainer or your life coach, look him up. This is D. You can follow me at DNC Digital on Instagram, on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit the post notification bell because you won't actually see the video if you subscribe unless you hit the bell. I just learned that the other day. So now I have to advise people to do that. I want to thank everybody for listening. I appreciate you guys so much. Share, tell your friends, tell your buddies. For Eli Sanchez, this is D. You guys have yourselves a great day.